some designers work a lot with colour, some like to work around angle. Is there a particular area that you favour, or is it all important?
You know, a couple of designs that I've done, I've used no color, and those have been some of the most satisfying things. I've just done one right now. I did a thing called I Stand Corrected at the Artscape Arena, which was I suppose you call it it was a theatre piece, but it contained an extraordinary dancer, Mannie Manim, and a very good actress who was also the writer and director, Mojisola Adebayo. And right from the outset, we said white light, and I find that very rich and interesting, because it's then about angle, intensity, shape of beam. It then becomes about something completely else. And we ended up using one other color in the entire rig, and only in one particular scene and for one particular aspect, which was there's a wedding, and it was to make the bride look as kind of cheesy as possible, as as standardly, gorgeously, prettily pink as all, it was pink from behind. It was sort of like a pink halo, but she was dressed in white. And then, I mean, one of the shows that I lit, which is one of the most popular shows I've been involved in, which was Warsaw Albert, the original lighting design had no colour, because we didn't have no money, because we were putting it on in the 50-seater lager theatre, and then it became this hit. And then Bonnie and I looked at each other, and we just felt we should stay true to the original concept. And I can remember ending up off Broadway in New York after we'd done national tours and everything, and with the lighting technician say, "Who's designed this thing? Does this guy not know anything about colour? Why is there no colours in the rig?" And a couple of our reviews in New York spoke about the fact of the, what do they call it, the chiaroscuro effect of having these angles and beams and levels, and so it can be used in a myriad ways of using just white light. So what can I say? White light I find challenging and exciting. It doesn't mean that using color in light is that much easier, but it's hard to use the color. That's the thing, it's when do we need saturation and when do we need the gentlest of colors.
Over the years, there have been a lot of changes in gear.
Look, there's no doubt that that intelligent lighting has taken us to another level, so that, again, even when I'm whinging away about not enough circuits or not enough dimmers or whatever, when you've got intelligent lights, you can have as many as the budget will allow, because you're not using up any of the other facilities. So I think certainly intelligent lights, also one light can represent many, many specials. So instead of having 20 specials, if you're lucky enough and they can all be hit from that same position, you've got one light that's doing the job of 20. You're never moving it, but you're using it in 20 different places, maybe with lots of different colors, maybe even with lots of different shapes, maybe even with gobos, and it's still all just one light. So that's an incredible advance to have that all, Then we get to the ones that are more noisy and less noisy, and yes, we do have to have them quieter. There's no reason that they should be as noisy as they are, and we're seeing quieter models coming out now. And I mean, the latest advance that is now, it's fascinating everybody, and I'm sure you as well, is this LED arrival. The fact of us being able to get an LED profile now, the fact of, again, being able to do all these extraordinary things in light and not have to change the bulb every couple of weeks. So, I know that initially now they're still costing a lot more, but they obviously, I think the future has arrived, that we are going to be exploring certainly the intelligent light and certainly the LED light source for the foreseeable future.
Right. Do you think in the time that you've been working that audience expectations have changed in respect of lighting?
Well, there's no doubt that people like, I'm getting back to my earlier theme, people like it brighter. The old thing of people get very irritated with very low levels of light now. Even if you want something that is ostensibly dark, it has shadow and shade and all that, you have to kind of highlight that. You have to give them some contrast somehow in that kind of picture. So I think the audience's eyes have become used to, certainly with all the stadium concerts and things they can get to, and with the enormous amount of light output that those shows have access to, and with whatever we're seeing on film nowadays, definitely light levels are on the rise.
Mannie, if a young lighting designer were to come to you today, what would your advice to them be?
Start to light. Get a group of friends that think you can light. Link yourself with the director that you think can direct and that wants to work with you as a lighting designer, and get into a room and start to light. I mean, one of the things that I always did when in that formative time when I was lighting all those shows on tour, when I was lighting the shows with Francois Swart at Pact, was I would put things into the rig that I didn't know how they worked. I would put colors into the rig. I would put instruments into the rig that we had in our equipment list, and that the colors were available when you went to get them in the store. But I wouldn't know what they did. Mm-hmm. So I would stick them in there, and I would learn what they did, so that I would either then say that's going to become my favorite color, or I would then say, no, I'm never using that one again. That didn't work.
Do you have a favourite colour?
No, I suppose you have.
Or maybe white.
No, well, white in light, yes. In blue, I think it's slate, and in you've got kind of things you lean towards. In ambers, I think it's 441 Lee at the moment. But what can I say? These are again transitory because they're where you are now. But tomorrow you light something else, and
fair enough. And
discover something else.
Do you have a vision of where you think lighting might go to, with all the new technology that's coming through?
Well, certainly, what would be nice, and I've heard that it already exists in many of the opera houses and so on, is for the follow spot type idea, linked to some kind of what do you call that? A thing that makes the spot focus on the person. So when the person's moving, the light moves with the person.
You want to put follow spotters out of work?
Well, not necessarily, but it means that you can then create a wonderful atmosphere that's never going to change. The person can always be lit, moving in a dark space or in a darkish space.
Right.
So that would be interesting for me.
Okay.
You'd be able to do the thing that I don't necessarily like to do, light the set. Because you could light the set once you've got the actors looked after. Now I'm always lighting the actors and hoping the set will look after itself.
Mannie, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.